Okay, welcome to another how-to video with PicoCluster.com. So today we're going to talk about what to do with your Raspberry Pi 3. So now you get it home, you're all excited about it, take it out of the box, take it out of the anti-static bag. Now what do? Right? So we know it's a full computer on this little board right here. And so it's going to require many of the same things that a regular computer does on your desktop, or maybe not so much the laptop, but any kind of a computing device. So one of the first things we need is storage. So this doesn't come with any storage like a hard drive. Instead, what you need is a little micro SD card like this one here. So this one's a SanDisk, a 32 gig card. We recommend only very high quality SD cards to use in these. We've seen some of the cheaper ones that don't work as well, or they will actually lock up the Raspberry Pi. So the first thing you need to do actually with your memory card is to put an operating system image on it. So we're not going to go into that in this video, but if you go to raspberrypi.org, it shows you where you can download the images and gives instructions on how to be able to image the card. So it's pretty simple. It just slots in like this. You just push it in. Some of the previous ones had a spring mechanism where you pushed in and it popped out a little bit, and then you pushed it back in to get the card back out. This one you don't. You just slide it in. Make sure it makes good contact, and it's nice. Okay, so now we've got the operating system. We've got the micro SD card, which is essentially its hard drive, right? What else? So, well, we want to be able to see what it's doing, right? So we've got our HDMI port. So we'll need to get an HDMI cable here, and we're going to plug that in like so. So that's going to give us now we can plug the other end into a regular monitor that accepts the HDMI. It's very well-known standard. Same thing with TV. Many people plug these into their TVs and use them as media centers and the like. So now we've got video. We want to be able to communicate with it, make it do something. So that requires a keyboard. So we like to use this little device like this here, where you have your keyboard and your trackpad that's all built in, and it's a wireless device. It just takes a dongle, wireless dongle. So it's one of these right here. So we'll just simply pop that in the front. Okay, there you go. Any one of those USB ports will do. And Raspbian's set up already, the operating system, so that you just plug in the dongle and you've got your keyboard and your mouse ready to go. So we'd also like to be able to communicate with the network. So in this case, the Raspberry Pi 3, it has Wi-Fi built in. Or if you want to plug it into a wired network, it has a dongle here. So in order to do that, we need to have a network cable. This is a Cat 5e cable. So that just simply plugs in there, and then the other end will plug into some kind of a switch. In this case, this is a small 8-port 1 gigabit switch, so plug it in like so. Now we have network. So the last thing, and one of the most important things, is we need power. So the Raspberry Pi 3 is powered through this little micro USB port here, right? So we need to be able to plug in. So you can get power supplies quite easily that already have the micro SD connector. So simply plug that in and get it the right way. It's a larger end up, and then the other end is a wall plug, so you just simply plug it into the wall and make it go. So one of the important things about power is the Raspberry Pi needs at least 1 amp of 5-volt power to be able to power it up and run. It's kind of the minimum. Most places will recommend a 2 amp power supply, particularly if you want to be able to plug any kind of devices into the USB ports here to provide a little bit more power. And the Raspberry Pi 3 will actually take up to a 3 amp power supply. So Those are a little bit more expensive, but if you're going to try to run a hard drive off of here, or some higher power components, if you're going to, plug in a display or another like the Pi camera, or the LCD display that you can plug in, then you're going to want as much power as you can into the board. And luckily the Pi 3 is designed to be able to handle a lot of power, so should be good to go. So those are all the things you need. So the Raspberry Pi by itself is great and it's inexpensive. The thing is that it doesn't really work without some other components here. At a minimum, you need to be able to have your micro SD card, and you have to have power. And then you'll really want to have a VGA cable, or HDMI cable, to be able to plug it into the wall, and some kind of input-output here with a keyboard and mouse to be able to use it like a regular desktop computer. So there you go. So these are all the components that you need to really make your Raspberry Pi 3 work the way you want it to. So thanks, tune in again, check out our other videos that we're putting up. We'll be putting them up on a continuing basis. Thanks.